Hey there guys, welcome back to Dad Plays Stuff and another Daemon X Machina PvP video. Now, patch 1.1.2 has officially been released and it's got a load of fixes for the game. The main fix, Devotion is been kicked out of PvP, it's gone. You can't use Devotion in Ranked at all. You can still use it in duels if you want to be a bit of a asshat, but it's out of PvP for the most part, so that's good news for everybody and generally good news for the community. Now before we get any further, please leave a like, a comment and subscribe. Really helps out the channel, helps the community grow and helps more people see the video the more you guys share it and tell people about it and like it and all that kind of crap. There's been a lot of fixes, and as you can see, sniper rifles are still as bad as they were before. That's not to say there aren't other weapons that can now do stuff against them. For example, laser cannons can actually deal quite a fair amount of damage and can compete with sniper rifles. It's likely that the meta might just swing towards sniper rifles and laser cannons respectively, but we'll judge that and take that as it comes. Now, another piece of good news is about the community itself. I'm seeing quite a lot of new faces coming onto the PvP this afternoon and this morning, and a lot of old faces that have resurfaced. There's been a few people that I've came across consistently, but there's even more people that I saw in the beginning that I don't see now, and I'm starting to see them again. So hopefully this patch will bring back people and bring in new people. They've done a great job. I mean, removing Devotion was one thing, but the balances and tweaks on the different weapons has made things that were completely useless previously great, and made other things less viable. It's not a perfect patch, of course, nothing is, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, and I am looking forward to seeing a lot of variety in the coming days. Now, my experience about the builds in the PvP today has been varied. The biggest thing that I've noticed is without Devotion being a thing, a lot of people have become even more defensive than they were before. There's not as much aggressive play going on, and I'm quite an aggressive player when it comes to my tactics. I don't like waiting around. It really bores the crap out of me to be backing off constantly from my enemy. And yeah, I know it's a run and gun game. It's all about maintaining optimal distance and firing at your enemy. But there's a lot of people that their entire strategy is just fly backwards. And I'm seeing even more of that at the moment. It's really strange when you're seeing that with melee builds though. There's quite a lot of people using melee and they're not really being aggressive, and with the melee builds you need to charge. You need to charge your opponent and attack them. And if you're not doing that, then you're not dealing your damage. I can't understand it. It's really strange. Maybe it's to do with the builds that I was running and I was forcing them to not be able to come close to me. I wasn't giving them an opportunity. I don't feel that was the case though, but maybe other people will disagree and comment on that. Now, the build you see on the screen is my stunning gun build. There'll be a link to that down below to get the basic gist of it. But essentially the whole point of that build is you use dual arc guns to stun your opponent, and then you blast them into oblivion with a laser cannon that's strapped to your back. In this case, I believe it's Hera's Wrath that I'm using. Now, interesting fact, that has also been buffed. It has reduced femto cost and increased damage. So you can imagine how badly it minces opponents. It's a build that I still haven't optimized. I need to maybe get some better attachments for the guns specifically, and work with the armor attachments and things like that. I have faced off against a couple of melee builds, and this spec is very tanky against melee. I'm actually strangely surprised at it. I've not came up against a laser melee, but definitely against physical melee it is a very strong build. I also need to work on the pylon weapons. I've got a hammer on my back, which I don't use, and it's kind of pointless, so I think I'll switch it out for like another dual arc guns, maybe the Riot Light, just for the stamina drain, but we'll see how that works in the future. Now the next fight has my machine gun build, and it's still viable, it still works a decent amount, but the biggest problem, and that ties into people playing defensively, is that the ammo capacity of it just isn't really enough. Because of the nature of the type of gun it is, you have to spam shots. Each shot does a little bit of damage, and in comparison when you add it all up, it does big amounts of damage. But that's regarding you hitting. If you're not hitting, you're not doing the damage, and quite often I'm finding that opponents basically just dodge around and wait out my guns while they're using sniper rifles or laser cannons, which have a lot more accuracy, slower rate of fire, that kind of thing. So, with the machine gun builds, you really need to pick your moments, and I might have to use only one machine gun arm and then use the other arm for utilities such as a melee weapon or another set of machine guns. Something that I can basically switch the pylon items onto. So it's a build that, while it was great and when it worked it did a crap ton of damage before, I'm finding either players have matured or the build just isn't optimized or as viable as it was. I'm really not sure yet. It's early days, it's the first day of the new patch, and I don't know if they've actually tweaked the gun arms themselves. To me it seems like something's different and I can't put my finger quite on it. So I'd like everybody to comment about what their experiences with the patch have been, if they've found that certain things just don't work anymore for them, if their builds have been overwritten, if they've seen new builds, new strange things that they didn't think were particularly viable to begin with. I mean, I'd really love to see the acid guns, bazookas, and I have seen a little bit of shield play, and I have lost to shields. Now, I don't know if it was the shields that I lost to or the laser cannons that the person was using. I can't say for certain. Either way, the shield definitely must have had an effect there because they had it out while they were beating the crap out of me. So, it's a whole new world that's opened up for the PvP at the moment. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck in the meta that it did like last time, where everybody's running the exact same build. Now, this final battle was me testing out laser cannons. It's not optimized, it's basically my gun arm build with some modifications, and I'm not going to lie, laser cannons melt this man. I don't know if it was me or the weapon that was winning this fight, but he got obliterated. Laser cannons are great. I mean, the accuracy on them is really good. The damage is decent, and again, not optimized, but I felt that I actually felt my hits were landing. I felt like I was doing something, whereas with some other builds I quite frequently feel like my hits just don't seem to be hitting. Like they seem to be able to hit me, but I don't seem to be able to hit them. And that's a kind of interesting thing. I don't know if that's maybe the choice of builds I'm using, choice of guns. I can't say for certain, but I had a little bit of fun with it. Hopefully laser cannons don't end up being the meta. And don't get me wrong, I have beaten people that are using them, so it's not necessarily like the sniper rifles where as long as they maintain that optimal distance you're screwed. Laser cannons are beatable, but it's going to take some time to figure out the proper counters and just what works and what doesn't. So that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I certainly hope you're enjoying the PvP at the moment with all the new things that are coming into play. If you do enjoy my videos, don't forget to leave a like and a comment. It really helps out the channel. And a subscribe for more content like this in the future. And hit that bell, because that will tell YouTube that you want to watch me. And, you know, that'll help me. Thanks. See you later, guys.